Lisa Kogen, and I'm the Director of Program and Education at Women's League for Conservative Judaism. I'd like to talk to you for a couple minutes about the exciting new project that we're beginning this year. Some of you might be familiar already with the theme because you have it on your Torah Fund pin that reads Mishpachah, which in Hebrew means family. And the name of our project is Mishpachah, the Modern Jewish Family. Let me ask you this. When you think of family, what comes to mind? Generally, we might think of Tevye and Golda, or we might think of the Cleavers, or the Huxtables, or maybe if you can remember back to the 50s, the Goldbergs. But instinctively what we do is we think mother, father, children. Well, I want to let you in on a not very well-kept secret, and that is this. The Jewish family, like all other families, is undergoing tremendous social change. Very soon, the configuration of mother, father, children is going to become a minority, and we're going to discover that families are much, much more diverse, including our Jewish families today, that are ethnically and religiously varied. Now they have same-sex parents. They're headed by single-parent households. And increasingly, there's increasingly large number of single mothers by choice. There are families with no children, and there are many households that are headed by only one person, and only one person lives in that home. So here is our challenge. How do we, in our synagogues, in our sisterhoods, in our communities, and within our personal lives as well, make all kinds of families, in whatever configuration they are, feel welcome and included? This isn't a rhetorical question, by the way, because I'm actually here going to give you some very concrete suggestions. I would like to ask you to visit our website and look at Mishpachah, the Modern Jewish Family. Our website is www.wlcj.org. Just hit the Mishpachah link and you will find new offerings for every month. The first introductory session that was begun in August is called Beginning the Conversation and is made up of a series of vignettes of a wide variety of Jewish families, and you will find their stories that they tell in their own words incredibly enlightening and moving. For September, we're going to be focusing on the issue of singles. We're calling it the Noah syndrome because what we are doing is we're going to deal with the social expectation that the couple is the primary unit of measure. We now know through demographers that single households are going to be the majority representation, certainly within the United States. We're talking not just about people who are single all of their lives, but people who are divorced and are widowed as well. We know for a fact that there are large numbers of social and legal prejudices built into single life, and we also know from our own communities that there are large numbers of cultural biases that we still have to confront. In the following months, we're going to be providing resources for families, whatever the configuration of that family. We're going to talk about how do we navigate challenges in families, what happens when with the power shift when one family member becomes a caregiver. What happens in much more complex families when you have children who are so religious that they don't want to eat in your home anymore? Or when your children have become so lax about dietary restrictions that it's uncomfortable for you to eat in their homes. But we're also going to talk about how we celebrate family. How do we create memories within families? How do we create new family rituals? We're going to offer a very important unit on how to create an ethical will. That is, what do we leave behind personally, not in terms of our material possessions, but what kind of values do we leave behind for our children? For those of you who are interested in text study, we're going to have several wonderful offerings, one by Dr. Ann Lapidus-Lerner at the Jewish Theological Seminary, who's going to give a presentation on the original dysfunctional family, Abraham, Hagar, and Sarah. and Dr. Gail Leibovitz at the Ziegler School of Rabbinics, who's a professor of Talmud, and she's going to talk about issues around traditional concepts of marriage and will provide new models for marriage ceremonies. Our goal is to create awareness to significant social changes and to elevate everyone's sensitivity. How do we behave towards each other? How do we speak about each other and to each other? In closing, I'm going to administer this little quiz, and I'm going to ask you to think about these two comments. My friend Cecilia is a mother. My friend Cecilia is a single mother. I'm bringing my gay friend George to dinner. I'm bringing my friend George to dinner. I need to buy a present for my niece, Abigail. I need to buy a present for my adopted niece, Abigail. Which of these statements that I just asked is more welcoming? Please join us in this dialogue. It's a very important dialogue, both for members of Women's League for Conservative Judaism and our families. It's important that we grapple with these issues that affect the physical survival of our people, but also affect our interpersonal relations and our spiritual selves. So on behalf of Women's League for Conservative Judaism and Torah Fund, I want to wish you all a Shana Tova. May this year be one of joy, peace, health, and welcoming.
Yay!
Thank you.